Hi guys, welcome back to a new 12 by 12 process video. This time I'm using one of my Scraptastic kits that I got, I believe, sometime over the summer. Or maybe it was a Valentine's kit. I can't quite remember. I'll link the information below in the comments or the information bar, letting you guys know which Scraptastic kit it was. It may have been April. I don't know. I'm terrible. Because I flip around. I don't always use the kits in order. I just kind of use whatever works with the pictures I have. So I'm kind of all random when I make my layouts. So now I am just going to use that main piece of paper with the love, love, love all the way across the right hand side of the page as kind of my main focal point, besides the picture obviously. And I'm just mounting the photo on that one piece of paper that has kind of all the geometric shapes all over it. And then basically I'm going to keep this layout semi-simple. I'm just going to be doing clustering and things like that around the photo itself using the paper and a lot of the embellishments that came in here. There's a lot of embellishments from Pink Fresh Studio in this kit. Those acetate pieces, or not acetate, but those acrylic pieces like that little cloud with the rainbow, that was a Scraptastic exclusive. And I don't believe I end up using any of the acrylic pieces from that kit, or from this kit. And so now I'm just trying to layer down the different die cuts and things like that to make it work for my layout. And I really like these die cuts with the gold around the edge. I just think it's really, really pretty. And a lot of the other die cuts have gold kind of foiling on the actual die cut. So they're just really, really pretty die cut pack. And like I said, these are from Pink Fresh Studio. I think some of the paper is also from Pink Fresh Studio as well. And then there's some Scraptastic exclusive paper in this kit as well. So I'm going to play around a lot because I don't have a whole lot of room on this left hand side because I have the love, love, love on the right, and I don't want to cover that up. I don't end up really using any mixed media on this layout. At the very end you're going to see that I'm going to do some sprinkling of mists from Lindy's Stamp Gang, but other than that it's going to be pretty clean as far as mixed media and such. So now I'm just futzing with these die cuts, trying to figure out what's going to work the best. And I really just like everything that came in this kit. The colors are just really, really great. Those ones that I have in my hand on the left, those are from Scraptastic. There's a Scraptastic exclusives, and they're like these brush stroke with letters on top of them, and they're just really pretty. So these are a cut apart sheet. You could probably use it just as one big piece as well, but what I chose to do was take one of these that I like the saying on it and the color, and I just trimmed it out. So I trimmed around the edges of the brush strokes and things like that. Alright, so now that I have that all fussy cut out, I'm going to add that in this bottom layer. And I think I end up keeping this one on. This layout I did quite some time ago at a crop. I just have never gotten around to editing the video. So I apologize if I'm off a little bit on some of the things I'm saying, but hopefully I know kind of what I did. You know, sometimes you think, you know, you just did, even if I did it yesterday, sometimes I can't remember what I did. So, you know, go figure. I'm sure, you know, if I did this back in October, I think that's when I ended up doing this. The likelihood of me remembering what I did is probably pretty slim. I did review the video before I did the voiceover, but it's just hard to remember some of these little nuances. So here I'm going to be taking out some of this paper that has the little chevrons on it. I'm going to make two of these, one on the left pointing into the picture from the left to the right, and then I'm going to put another one on the right pointing into the left. And ultimately I'm going to end up putting a lot of these things up on foam tape because I thought they kind of looked nice layered like this, but I felt like they needed a little bit more dimension. It looked a little too flat. So you're going to see a little bit later on that I'm going to use some of my Stampin' Up! Dimensionals just to lift them up just ever so slightly. I like the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, which I've mentioned in videos before, because they are thinner than some of the other foam tape. So it doesn't add a lot of bulk to my album, but it also lifts it up just enough to give it a little bit more depth and dimension. So you'll see me doing that just a little bit. I'm going to still play around with these different layers. And then I felt like there needed some anchoring of the photo. The die cuts and things didn't seem to anchor the photo quite right. So I'm going to end up taking some of the striped paper that also came in the kit and just anchoring down the clusters. I felt like it just gave the picture and the embellishments or die cuts someplace to rest. Because before I felt like they were just kind of floating around a little bit too much on the page. And I just really love this background paper. I love all the word loves on the right hand side and then the hearts in the top left. But I also like the fact that it looks like it's watercolor paper, which I just think is really neat. So it kind of gives you that mixed media effect without actually using mixed media. So if you're kind of intimidated by mixed media and things like that, this is a really good paper because it kind of gives you that look of mixed media, but doesn't require you to actually use any mixed media on the page. So that's kind of why I like this. And I think this is a Pink Fresh piece of paper. I can't quite remember, but in general, it seems like that Pink Fresh Studio, the look of their paper and stuff reminds me of very just kind of hand-drawn, handmade, homemade kind of look. So that's why it's nice too, especially if you don't do a lot of that by hand. You can use those papers in their collections to make it really look like a handmade, hand-painted kind of look. So here's where I am putting up some of the items on phone tape, and I'm actually going to be using the dimensionals on that little quote that says enjoy it, and that's the one that I cut out from that Scraptastic exclusive cutout sheet. And then I'm going to pop up the chevron piece on the left hand side, and I'm just using my little pokey tool to pull off the backs of the sticky so that I can make it stick to the layout. That's a really good tip. If you have problems getting the backing paper off of your foam pop-up dots or the foam tape or anything like that, you can use the end of the pokey tool to kind of poke into the foam and then just kind of help peel it up, and then sometimes that works a lot better. With the Stampin' Up! Dimensional, the little hexagon pieces, the sticky back doesn't stick on real well, but sometimes it is hard to get it off the edge. So using that pokey tool really helps to kind of pluck that off the backing, and then makes it easier so you're not sitting there struggling with your fingernail trying to pick it off. Or if you don't have fingernails, that's another really good option. So now I'm just kind of gluing everything down because I'm happy with the layout, and I feel like I need to anchor a little bit more. So I'm going to take this piece of paper here that looks kind of like a slide that I've already cut up a couple times before, and then just tuck that into places. I trimmed it down because it didn't quite fit. And now I'm going to be playing around with some of the other more three-dimensional embellishments, trying to figure out what I want to do. And I'm going to ultimately add some of these Pink Fresh dots here. They have like a wood background and then a colored wood dot in the middle, and I just love these. I really, really, really wanted to hoard them because I just think they're so pretty, but I decided I would use them because if I don't use them, then they're just going to sit in my stash, and that's just kind of silly. So now I am taking a little scrap of paper that I had punched with one of those notebook, I don't know, what are those filer thingy punches? And I'm just kind of adding it in for some added texture. And I thought I needed a little bit more of that, so I'm going to add one in the bottom by the heart cluster. And again, just punching that out and gluing it down, and I just like how it adds a little bit of dimension. And I think I end up actually pulling the one on the top of the layout off because it just seemed a little funny to me. I can't quite remember, or maybe I keep it in. I was going to try to put something else in, but I ended up not putting it. So I just like how that texture looks. So if you're ever looking for some texture and things like that, doing some punching and things like that with those border punches really sometimes helps. So this is the Lindy Stamp Gang spray that I said I was going to be using. It's in Opal Sea Oats. I actually really, really, really like Lindy Stamp Gang products. Heidi Swapp products are really awesome. They're a little bit more of a painty kind of a look, a little thicker. The Lindy Stamp Gang is a little bit of a thinner medium, and I love that it comes in dry. So when you order them, the bottles are dry and they just have the powder in them, and you add hot water to the bottle to reconstitute it, and then that's how you actually use them. So Lindy Stamp Gang products are just really, really good. I highly recommend grabbing them if you don't have any. And they come in color packs, or you can buy them in singles. You can buy them shiny or flat, all different ways. So I really like those products. So now I'm just stamping the date, and I'm actually going to end up moving this in a little bit. You're going to see me. I'm going to show you some close-ups, but then I realized I don't really have a title on here, and I want to add something more than just the love on the right-hand side. So in a second here, you'll see me changing that up. But while I was talking about the Lindy Stamp Gang, I also added a few enamel dots. I believe those may have came in the kit, or they may have been for my stash. I can't quite remember. But what I ended up doing to extend those little wooden dots is I just put 3 wooden dots on the page, and then I filled in with 2 other little enamel dots in those same clusters, because I like clusters of 3, and this way I didn't have to use many of those wooden dots, and I could use some other ones. So there I just showed you a close-up, but now I am going to cover this date up with some more of this striped paper, because I'm going to add my title up here, and I'm going to put my date in the bottom left. And this is just a Stampin' Up! Ink that I'm using in a gray color. I can't remember which gray it is, but I'm just going to be doing that in the bottom because I didn't want it to be too black. I wanted to kind of blend in because this is kind of a light, airy color or look. So I just stamped that with my Heidi Swap date stamp. And now I'm just working with the title, and it's going to end up being a lifetime of, and then love is going to be part of the title. And those are some Jelly Bean Soup Alphas that I used, and that's pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching. The close-ups are coming here in just a second. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please look over on the information bar below. I have my Facebook group information, or my Facebook page if you're interested in following me there, or I'm on Instagram and a couple other places. And if you're a new subscriber, thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye.